Weather and wine.
Today, the News 12 Weather Squad will highlight just why they go hand in hand.
Hey everyone, today's episode of Weather Squad takes us to a vineyard where we learn about how weather and climate affect the vines. I'm Meteor Mike.
And I'm Weather Geoff. We're on Long Island's scenic East End at Bedell Cellars in the quiet community of Cutchogue.
Bedell has 75 acres of planted vines and over a dozen variety of grapes.
This 80-acre estate is also certified sustainable, adhering to responsible farming practices that helps to safeguard the surrounding residents, wildlife, woodlands, and fragile marine estuaries.
And that's important because grapes, like any crop, are under the mercy of weather and climate and require careful farming.
And joining us today is Rich Olson-Harbeck, the man behind the bottles here at Bedell. Rich, thanks for joining us.
Nice to see you guys.
Thanks for coming with us today.
So tell us a little bit about yourself and your career.
Well, I've been doing this on the East End for about 38 years. I went to Cornell, graduated out of the plant science program, and started working in vineyards during summers off. And I have been doing it ever since.
We're going to put some of that knowledge and experience to the test. Okay. Fact or fiction? White wines are picked before red wines.
Mostly fact, yes. With one exception being some grapes are used for sparkling white wine. Some of the best white champagnes in the world are made from predominantly Pinot Noir, which is a red grape.
Here's another one. Grapevines are sturdy enough to withstand extreme weather events. Fact or fiction?
I think that's mostly fact. The good news is that on Eastern Long Island, we don't have to worry too much about extreme weather events because we are protected by the surrounding waters, which really buffers our climate and temperatures. But these vines are tougher than I think many people believe.
So what would be the most detrimental type of event, God forbid it were to happen to the vines?
For us here, the most detrimental weather event is a hurricane. We've been lucky to avoid those in the last few years here. But if it hits at the right time, when fruit is almost ripe, it can definitely do damage. I've been through one, which was in 1985, Hurricane Gloria. That was the only one that really hit head-on during the middle of harvest.
All right, Rich, I'm no connoisseur or sommelier, but I'd like to think of myself as a little bit of a wine enthusiast, and I feel like I've always heard that a warmer climate is typically better for growing these grapes. Is that fact or fiction?
Well, that's fiction. Most of the narrative that's written about American wine has been written from the California perspective, and that is a warm climate. But here on the East Coast, we're considered a cool climate area, and on the East End specifically, it's considered a cool maritime climate. Some of the best wines in the world are made in cool climates. Northern France, Germany, Northern Italy, New Zealand.
And dry is good, cool or warm, but
dry
if it's
is fine.
Hot, if it's hot and dry, that would be bad.
Dry is manageable because you can apply irrigation.
So technically it's more expensive to grow in those areas.
More expensive, and you can make a case that it's not as sustainable.
Wow.
And you guys operate completely sustainable where you don't need
We're
100%
certified sustainable. We'll take the pressings that we use from the fruit once we are done processing, and we'll compost that, and we use that as part of our fertilization program.
Okay, Rich, one last one here, and it's a very important one. In regards to climate change impacts the wine industry. Fact or fiction?
Fact, 100%. It is already impacting the wine industry. Since I started working in this in the early 80s, I've seen the seasons become longer. There's more heat accumulation, and we can track that. And we're seeing ourselves picking fruit earlier and riper than we used to. It's one of the few agricultural sectors that recorded things 400 or 500 years ago. You can see what date they picked Merlot in Bordeaux, or what date they picked Chardonnay in Burgundy. And this has all changed, and many people are picking as much as a month earlier than they used to in centuries earlier. But for now, we really don't know exactly how the impact of climate change is going to affect agriculture. We're in a relationship with Mother Nature, and she's the boss. So we have to deal with whatever comes our way And we've learned how to do that here. And it makes our wines different. It makes our wines special and unique.
It is really fascinating
very cool.
just to see how over time things are changing with the climate. And you know what, to get a little bit more perspective on how climate change is affecting vineyards, not just here in the East End of Long Island, but across the world, we're going to send it over to our meteorologist, Michelle Powers, with the powers of climate.
Mike, Geoff, those are great questions. Climate change affects different parts of the world in different ways. According to Climate Central, studies show that a warmer climate can shift the most suitable places that grow grapes. For example, the wines of southern France may be impacted and become unfavorable over time. Warmer temperatures or drier conditions could possibly cause issues with the ripening, and that could be more expensive for vineyards to produce that wine. However, once unsuitable areas in northern France may actually become suitable and thus better for grape farming. The same thing is happening here in the United States. Climate scientists determined that the wilderness areas of Yellowstone National Park may actually become newly suitable for vineyards. Mike and Geoff, are you ready to try wine from a new region?
Yeah, sure, Michelle. I think I'd like maybe some new wines from different regions. I'm kind of, Mike's very happy about this. I'm okay because I really don't know how wine from different areas would taste. The thought, though, of not being able to enjoy my traditional wines from my traditional regions, that's a little unnerving. But like Rich said, we kind of have to wait and see with that, and if we will maybe one day not be able to grow them.
Right, and you know, you never know. Maybe someday they'll come out with a spicy wine. I mean, hey.
This guy.
It's all about the spice. Folks, you can check out the Moodcast every weekday morning on News 12.
All right, so we learned how weather can affect the vineyards. Now it's time to make the wine. This is a crazy process. Rich, tell us what we're doing here.
What we're doing is hand sorting. So we're putting the grapes through the stemming machine, but not every piece of the stem is removed. There's always some left over. So you can see behind me, there's a giant bin collecting of stems.
Okay.
But occasionally pieces will break off, as you can see.
So most
we
of them
want to
come
get
off,
rid of them.
except for the small guys.
Right, because this is Cabernet Sauvignon. It's all going to go into a tank and ferment together.
So I want to pick this out.
Yeah, you can pick it out.
Throw it in there.
So what we want to do is flatten out this little band of fruit, so it's all spread flat, and then you'll see some of these pieces popping out. We call these jacks.
Jacks.
Because they look like
little
toy.
jacks. Tiddlywinks.
Right. So Mike, if you kind of flatten out as it comes through for the rest of the table, and then Geoff is looking at stuff over here. We're trying to get as many of these as possible.
How many grapes typically go through this process?
We can only do this with about 7 to 8 tons a day.
Oh wow!
Which is about as fast as we can go. That's from 9 o'clock in the morning when we first start, after getting set up till 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock at night. And then, of course, we have cleanup, which can take hours. Yeah, you guys are doing good, but I think maybe we can keep you.
All right, man.
We got the jobs.
I've heard that in a lot of other jobs. I feel good about this.
Well, meteorology makes you qualify for a lot of things, don't you say?
You can see by the time the fruit gets down to the end of the table, it's looking pretty clean.
Yeah.
Nothing but pure berries.
You would think a machine would be invented by now that takes care of all of that.
I mean, this guy gets rid of a
it
lot of
doesn't
them.
much of it, but
I guess I can't get them all.
So it just goes to show that machines can't technically take over everyone's jobs.
So you mean Terminator's not going to happen?
I don't know, man.
All right, Rich, thank you so much for teaching us the ways
my
of the
pleasure.
vineyard today. It's been very educational, and for the folks that are going to be stopping by to enjoy our hard work, it'll be very tasty for them, I'd assume.
That's the bottom line. That's what we try to do.
Absolutely awesome experience. Thank you so much for having
Thank
us
you, Mike.
today. And folks at home, we want to know, what's your favorite wine? Is it from Bedell? Hope so, maybe. And also we want to know, do you think climate change would affect your favorite wine? And are you concerned with that?
Yeah, absolutely. Let us know in a comment below, and we'll be sure to highlight those on a future episode of the News 12 Weather Squad. And you could also leave us a photo, too. It could be a sunrise, it could be a rainbow, it could even be your favorite vineyard.
Very cool, very cool. And don't forget, you can follow all of our adventures on news12weathersquad.com. Folks, see you later.
All right, guys, it's time to check out your comments and pictures. And we've got a lot of good ones here. I'm going to highlight this one. This is from Pat DeLuca from Bayport, Long Island.
wow.
And this picture, show it to you right here, so cool. If not for that little ripple in the water, you can't even tell if you turn this image completely upside down. which way was which.
It's perfectly symmetrical.
beautiful.
You got those beautiful cumulus clouds there, and wow.
The foliage, it's a great picture.
You know, Pat,
Love
keep
it.
sending us those photos, man. Those are awesome. I got this one right here. This is actually kind of funny. That we asked you, one of our questions that we asked before was if you think your neighborhood is hurricane safe. And this comment from Jackie is actually kind of funny. She said that she doesn't know if her neighborhood is prepared for a hurricane. She lives in Kensington, Brooklyn, it says here, but her supermarket stays fully stocked. But here's the catch. She also stocks her fire escape with this jar of pickles that's been there for a couple of years. All right, so I guess whenever it goes down, you say, you and your pickles are ready. Jeff?
She's pickle ready.
Fire escape pickles. And we also have this photo from Jelixer Marie, an intense, powerful storm photo right there.
Is that a black and white photo? I can't even tell.
No, you can see the color
wow,
there.
it
Really
almost
cool.
looks like one. It's a very ominous sky.
Jill, bravo.
Very good.
Great
And
shot.
last one here, Antonio M. Rosario. The sun took a backseat to the moon in the clouds this morning. Look at these. I mean, just
Wow.
gorgeous.
Wow.
Red, rich colors in the sky. Yeah, the sun's not even up yet, but hitting off those clouds, those mid-level clouds, perfect.
Wow, folks, continue to send us your comments to the News 12 Weather Squad, and we'll put it right here in our future episodes.